Hello everyone, how are you doing? Let me see who is here. We have like 40, 50 people here. Hello Thiago. It's in English today, but bom dia. Bom dia. Hi Virginie. Hi Alison. Antonio. I see you come from, not come because we're not coming to any places here. We are online, but we have people from all around the world. Have people from Europe, from Africa, from Latin America, North America. So I'm very glad to see you here. I'm Arthur Schaefer. If you don't know me, I'm a tech writer here at Teclib. And we also have, I'm not alone here. I'm in Brazil at the moment. So here it's 10 a.m. I don't know what time is it in the place where you are. Guten Tag, Michael. But let's start it. Let's try to dive into GLPI with some advanced tasks, and this is going to be a nice opportunity to talk about and demonstrate some of our features in GLPI 11. I wanted to bring to you some ideas so you can navigate better and see what the tool is capable of. And as I've mentioned before, I'm not alone. I have Georgie, which is also from Brazil. He's on the chat and on questions. So here in Livestorm, you have two buttons where you can add your questions. All the questions are just private, just us, the moderators are going to see it. So me and Georgie. But if you want, you can use the chat, be comfortable, and just comment and let's participate. I will have some polls during the presentation to know you better, to animate better, and to be with yourselves and understand better what you are expecting from the tool and what are your top priorities for the next years, let's say like this. Let me just start here. I will try to explain everything that I have here in 45 minutes. This is the overview that we are going to see here. I'm going to talk a little bit about Teclib and GLPI for sure. For those who don't know who is Teclib and what is the connection between Teclib and GLPI, I'm going to talk about it. And I will focus on some features that are not alone. They are together. I will show you GLPI inventory and some exclusive features that we have in GLPI 11 and the integrated forms with useful workflows. But I'm not just telling you that I'm just showing integrated forms, because GLPI is a whole tool, is a whole kitchen where you can take some tools of it and create a very good a very cooked meal. So in the end, I will open up for questions and answers. But if you have questions during the webinar, feel free to put them on the chat or on questions. And if I can, I will bring them to the presentation. But Georgie, it will also answer in text for you. Teclib is an open source software deployment company, and it's in France. I'm in Brazil, but we have people in almost every continent. We have people in Europe, in North America. We have also people here in Brazil. And we are the official editor, the GLPI editor, since 2015. It means that we have a team focused on just solving all the problems and reviewing the code and implementing new things to GLPI. Even though it's an open source tool, it's an open source software, and it's going to be this way. You have all the liberties, all the freedom to use the code. We have a team of people that is constantly providing support and innovation tools to GLPI, alongside the community for sure. We distribute the GLPI through a network of integrators, which we call the partners. The GLPI network is the network of partners that we have to integrate GLPI to end users. So it doesn't matter if you go into our GLPI cloud solution or on-premises solution, we have our integrators to help you with all the processes to make GLPI useful to your company. You can always look for them and ask for support or ask for implementation skills. We also have our GLPI Network Cloud, which is our software as a service platform, where you can open your instance in GLPI. You have a 45-day trial for free if you want to navigate into GLPI. At the moment, we are in GLPI 10 on cloud, but for sure, once GLPI 11 is out, we are going to upgrade it for you for free because it's part of the deal. We have at the moment more than 100 official partners around the world. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can always look for the partner that is near to you, is nearer to you, and ask for support or implementation skills. You are listening to me well? Just let a yes, please. Now I realize that I've maybe, yes, okay, thank you. Let's go on. GLPI is today one of the most implemented open source ITSM tools in the world. It is deployed in over 180 countries. We have more than 10 million users. Since it's open source, there's no way to understand how many people are using GLPI. But according to the downloads that we have and some telemetry that people send to our servers, which are anonymous, we can expect at least 10 million users are using GLPI at the moment. And we have more than 50,000 cloud instances deployed already into our cloud. And for sure, it is supported in over 60 languages. And this part of languages is something that I'm going to ask your help to, because if GLPI is not in your language, you can always help in translations and providing translations, because we don't have people of every translation, every language in the company. So sometimes there is a language that is not in GLPI yet, and you can for sure help on translations. Here we have a map where you can see where are the clouds. For sure, the cloud is in our servers. We have servers in North America, in Europe, and in Africa, I believe, or Indonesia. I'm not sure now. All the places where we have, but we have in our documentation all the places where I have servers. But these are the countries where people use GLPI cloud at the moment. So you can see we are all around the world. First of all, we are going to talk about GLPI inventory. As you already know, GLPI already have some regular IT assets. And for those that used to use the generic objects plugin, you could for sure create new assets in GLPI. Because when you talk about security and compliance, you need to make sure that all your inventory is in comply with all the things that you have in your company, all the policies you have in your company. And for sure, security pass through the inventory for sure. It's almost like a rule. So to make sure that we have possibilities and ability to have not just IT assets, but also every kind of asset in a company, we've implemented the custom assets feature into GLPI 11. We have already talked about it in the past, in past webinars, but today I'm going to show you how to create one and to create also some custom fields for these assets. Let's say you have furniture, you have real estate, you have planes, you have lifts, you have cars, and you want to manage them through GLPI. Now you can. Actually, you could before, but without the plugin right now. We have also the possibility to have an automatic inventory, which means that if you have any device with Linux, with Windows, Mac OS, or SSH, or WinRM, or SNMP, you probably can make an automatic inventory and make sure that your inventory is up to date every time, or the time that you implement in your GLPI using GLPI agent or agentless. It means that SNMP, SSH, and WinRM, which are protocols, can be used without the need of an agent in each computer. Let's say you have a network where you can't install a GLPI agent in every computer, but you can access them through SSH or WinRM. So you can just have one GLPI agent in the network, and then you can network and scan your network and find your servers, your network devices, using the protocols that I've mentioned before. In GLPI 10, we already have the business rules for assets, but in GLPI 11, we have upgraded the business rules for assets. I'm calling business rules for assets because we have now a new schema, because some of you wanted to have a different category for servers, for nodes, for laptops, not just computers, but have several categories of custom assets. So why not scan them and bring them to GLPI using the GLPI agent? Now you can create an item type in GLPI agent or create rules to transform, not transform, but to I forgot the word, sorry, to import a server like a server in GLPI. Here you can see it's the left menu, where at the bottom of it, can you see this, the mouse? Yes, you can see the mouse. At the bottom, we have, for example, ventilators here, real estate, servers, nodes, lifts, planes, furniture. I've created it in my instance to have like an example, but now I can have these kind of assets. Not just that, here we have the inventory rules. Before, we just had these rules for assigning an item to an entity, the location rules, the rule for import and link equipments, and all of these here. And we didn't have it very clear how this would work. Now we have a process. Once you open GLPI in the business rules, administration rules, you'll see this schema that is focused just on assets. Before it goes to the business rules for assets, we have all the transformation of this asset in GLPI, what is the entity that this item is going to be, which is the location, what are the rules for linking equipments, what are the dictionaries if you want to have like a uniform naming in GLPI. And after all of that, you have the business rules for assets. So here I have a server, and I'm going to show you how we define into GLPI agent what is the item type of this server. This is a server where I have containers, and I'm going to call it node in GLPI. I don't want it to be a server. I don't want it to be a computer. I want it to be a node in GLPI. So I can just come to the GLPI agent, the configuration, and add this variable that says item type. And it's very important to follow these tabs: GLPI, custom asset, the name of the asset that you've created, and after that you add the asset. If you go into the documentation of GLPI, of the GLPI agent, you're going to see this very explicit, very descriptive. You can just follow the steps and it's going to work. So after that, I will run the GLPI agent. Let's just make sure that it works. So yeah, I'm going to run the GLPI agent. And since GLPI agent 1.13, I guess, we have the possibility of having a partial inventory. So if you don't add a full at the end, GLPI will just send, the GLPI agent will just send partial parts of the inventory that were changed. So I want it to be full so I can see all the information here that is going to be sent to GLPI and show you the logs. This is very technical, so I'm sorry if it's too technical here for those who are not so into tech. As you can see here, I have the item type defined to nodes asset. If I dive into GLPI now, I'm changing again the screen that I can see on the left menu that I have nodes, and inside nodes, I have the server that I've uploaded right now. The time on my server is not the same time that I have here in Brazil. So this was already implemented. It was imported to GLPI. And we also have all the containers that I have in this server. Not just that, I have environments of this server and also all the processes of this server with the memory usage and CPU usage. This is not a monitoring tool, but you can, at a glance, see some information that can be useful to your day-to-day tasks. This is GLPI 11. I had a question if it's the GLPI. Yes, this is GLPI 11. These environments and processes, for example, are just for Linux servers and in GLPI 11. Not just that, if you want to create the network scan, you can activate the toolbox in your GLPI agent. We have also documentation on that. I will not dive into every configuration, but once you turn on the toolbox in your GLPI, or if you create a task in your GLPI Inventor plugin, you can create some network scans to find servers in your organization. So as you can see here, I have already run this before because it takes some time. I will not run now, but I already have some inventory made on a network scan, on a network that I've defined on my IP ranges. So I can create some IP ranges to, I don't know, Linux server, Windows servers, and insert them into GLPI. Not just that. If you go in the rules that I've shown you before, if I don't have an item type defined on the GLPI agent, I can transform item types using business rules for that. So I can say that every time there is an inventory tag that is Windows devices, it's going to be a server. Or if it's this the name of the server, this is going to be a server. This is a way of transforming item types in GLPI 11. Coming back to our presentation, so we don't, I'm seeing the questions. Some of them are cool, and I'm trying to bring them at the end so we don't have a lot of focus here. But we have also the best part. In Portuguese, we used to say the sauce of the hot dog, because in Brazil, we eat hot dogs with sauce. I don't know if in other countries there is this culture as well. But I would like also to know how many of you are using GLPI 11 already. Most of you are not yet testing GLPI. So you can always test GLPI because it's open source. Once it's released, you can install in your organization. But at the end, I'm going to talk more about this. And the last one before we dive into the automated process, I want to see how many of you have some automation in your GLPI. Nice. Most of you have some rules. It's nice to see that. We also have more than 20% that are all manual in GLPI, which is also good because there's an opportunity to learn something here. And 20% extensive rules and workflows. Congratulations. Props to you. Let's come back. In GLPI, we have in 11, we are focusing now in 11. We have integrated forms that comes from the plugin, the previous plugin. We have ticket templates. We have SLAs and OLAs. We have escalation levels within the SLAs and OLAs. We have pending reasons for when you want to have some automatic actions from the tool when someone needs to answer for a question from the technical team. You can also have some follow-up templates to make your work quicker, or also to automate some answers when needed. And not to mention just that, but we have task templates. And remember, inside these templates, you have the ability to use the twigs that take some information from the tickets to populate the ticket. Let's say if you want to populate the description using the name of the person that opened the ticket. So you don't need to type it every time. You can just use twig variables. And I'm not mentioning here, but we also have in GLPI 11 the validation templates. This is something that a lot of people have asked for, the ability to have validation templates without the need. So now we don't need to type every time. I need your validation to ask for a new computer. Let's say like this. You can have the validation templates in GLPI. So let's take a look at this workflow. Here we have this is something important too. Before we dive into a process, we need to plan this process. This is a small plan for a process where every time someone asks for a new computer, it's going to be reviewed by a manager and an SLA. I don't know if you can see the yellow box here, but it's written that the SLA for equipment purchase is going to be set to this ticket, which is 30 days. And then if it's approved, all the process will be followed through. But if it's not approved, the employee is going to be notified and the ticket will end. Everything automatically. We just have an action from the employee here and the manager approving here. After that, if it's approved, the ticket needs to be forwarded to the support group, and then the support group is going to work. We have some tasks that's going to be added to this ticket. After the task is done, the team will forward it to the information security that is going to do their work. And as you can see, every yellow box here is a change of OLA, the operational level agreement. The SLA is the same all way around, but we have different time to own and time to resolve times for operational level services in GLPI. Actually, it's just time to own. And at the end, we come back to we forward back the ticket to the support agent, and then the support agent will end the ticket. Let's take a look at it working. What do you think? Yeah, so let's go. Here I have a user called Teste, and I want to feature something here. In GLPI 10, we've implemented the ability to impersonate a person. Well, impersonate a person, but impersonate a user. Now, I'm not the person that is using this user, but I can impersonate to troubleshoot, for example. In this case, I'm just demonstrating, but I want to troubleshoot something in a user. But before, we didn't have a very clear authorization for that. In GLPI 11, if you look into profiles, you can see here that we have in administration the ability to activate, enable, or disable the impersonate mode. It's quick and easy to find. So coming back to what really matters, we're going to impersonate this person. And first thing we see is the new service catalog in GLPI. As you can see here, this is an external link. I can click on this link or create new links to external data, but not just that, I can also find solutions that I want here. If I have any article or if I have different forms that are not on my main screen, and I can also see all the tickets that I've opened before or the solved tickets I can also see here. For this demonstration, I will create a get a new computer form. I will add here a full name like Georgie. I will add a department as, I don't know, human resources department. The manager is going to be Georgie. And the phone number, I just need to have a number here. I can here I can choose if I want to refresh the screen or use it like in GLPI 10 where you have all the sections one after another. I like this screen where I can just hit continue and then I have the new section. I will just let here a reason for request, and then here I've created a table where you can choose, for example, which kind of computer you want, and then you click on that, continue. If you have some software to install, you can install here. Remember, this is a customized form, so it's just an example. You can create the questions as it fits to your company. I will submit this ticket, and then I can see the ticket as a user, the end user. I already have a follow-up, and I have an approval request. Everything automatic. I will now impersonate as Georgie, which is the person that needs to approve this. I will impersonate here. And then I can see on my personal view that I have this ticket to approve. Here you can see the new validation process. You have a timeline of processes, if it's needed or not. If you have more, you can also have more steps, not just here we have the initial review, but we could have like the acquisition review or the change review. All of these would be here in different steps. I come here to ticket, I can just refuse it. So if I refuse, the ticket is going to, I need to have a reason to refuse. Refuse due to, I don't know, prices, whatever. Refusing, and the ticket is going to be closed here with an automatic solution, and it's done. But let's say I want this, I will create another ticket here, and I will follow all the steps along. Testing, impersonate, get a new computer, full name, Jordi Camargo. I'll let mine in here now. Arthur. Department IT. Can be quality, doesn't matter. Jordi, phone number. Continue. New employee onboarding. PC standard workstation. Submit. Then now, as Georgie, again, impersonate, I will approve this ticket. Remember the workflow. So I'm approving this ticket, and then all the magic starts, all the magic begins. As you can see here, the ticket went back to new. An SLA was implemented and an OLA was implemented. Right now, as a user, let's say as myself, I can come to the ticket, quality here, associate myself, and then we have a new task automatically. I've just assigned myself. The service levels also changed. As you could remind, we didn't have an OLA support of 2 days. So let's say I've worked on that. I did the task, and I have here an information. After task is done, transfer this ticket to information security. Good. So I've done it. I will took all of this off, and infrastructure. Sorry, it's information security. I'm just forwarding it to information security. I'm saving it. And then let's imagine that I am to information security. I will just change the person here so you can see that is a different person. So Georgie is information security, and it's going to take that ticket, which is new again, which is with a different OLA for information security now. But as you can see here, the SLA is the same. I will associate myself as an information security person. And now we have another task that was created. And again, I'm information security. I did all that needs to be done. And I'm going to remember all the workflow. I'm here. The tasks were added. I'm doing the task, and I need to forward the request to the support team. So I'm coming back to the ticket that is here, and I'm forwarding it to the support IT. Again, saving it. Let's come back as our tool as the support IT person. Assistance, tickets, quality. Okay. Again, OLA has changed. I'm associating myself to this ticket. And again, we have a new task. And after completing the task, use the solution template equipment, new equipment. So I've done it, and I want to solve it with equipment, new equipment. As you can see here, we have the name of the person, we have the name of the request and the ID of the request, which is 101 here. And it's done. Everything here was almost automatic. I just had for sure some work to do because people need to also uh, manage the tickets, but everything like task templates, follow-up templates, everything was made by people. And for pending reasons, as you can see here in these peripherals, I guess, yes, we have a follow-up and a pending reason waiting for a requester, and we already have asked for some answers from this person. George, can you remind me what is the ticket that is already closed, please? Because every time I answer to a ticket, let's take one here, the Ayrton Senna. I answer for an answer request. I need more. Let's see if I have a template here. Yeah, here I have a follow-up template, but I will also set the status to pending. I can add a pending reason, like waiting for a requester, and every day or every 2 days, every 3 days, there's a new follow-up to this user so the user can remind that they need to answer this. But after 2 follow-ups, I want the ticket to be solved automatically. And we also have the escalation levels. If you have already seen, we have some videos about escalation levels, but here we have a ticket that I do like to see, which is a shared folder, I guess. Not solved. Yeah, shared folders. Here. In this case, I will show you the historical of this ticket because the ticket was created, added a link to the people and all of this. But the cron OLA ticket has changed the priority, added a follow-up, added a group, and changed the status automatically. And how did this do? How it was done? If you go into here, we can see that the OLA and SLA network or OLA infrastructure was created here. If I navigate into setup and service levels, I can see I have a lot of service levels here. Here I have an escalation level that once the ticket is expired, we are going to send an automatic reminder, set the priority to very high, add a follow-up template, which you can see there, here, the warning infrastructure. And also escalate it to information technology support IT and send an automatic reminder again. Everything is automatic here. After 15 minutes, this is going to happen to tickets that come as these rules here. Again, it's hard to just mention one module, one feature in GLPI because we are using business rules, we are using follow-up templates, task templates, the integrated forms that populate all the tickets. Everything is made automatically. And to finish, before we dive into, I would like to create a form with you, but I will try to just explain to you a form that was created to try and have a zero incident policy. Imagine a company that has too many incidents that are very, I don't like the word silly, but silly questions, silly solutions. Let's say how to change the signature of your email in Gmail. So every time someone opens a ticket, I will just show you before I dive into the form itself. So again, as testing, I will impersonate it. And I have a problem with email. I can see it here, but I can search for it. I can create an email. I will open as myself. I will not add a contact number. I will continue and select the service you want help with. How to change my email signature. As you can see here, I already inserted here. We already have an article, so the person can try by themselves to create this Gmail signature. So once this person follow these steps and the article is helpful, yes, I don't need to open the ticket. But if it's not helpful, they just click no, and now I can briefly describe signature, problem, and what else they want, and then submit it to the support team. So the support team will work on that. As you can see on our form here, which is the new interface of form creation, which is also like any other form tool that we have on the internet. We have questions that can be also uh, that can be in almost in up to 4 columns of questions. All of them have the visibility, configuration, and validation if you have regular expressions, for example, if it's mandatory or not. But you can just add some information that you want. You can change the render layout if you want section by section, as I mentioned before. If you want a single page, if I click on single page, every question and every section is going to be below the other. But if I let it section by section, it's going to refresh every time. I can for sure take information from GLPI. Let's say I want an item like assets, computers, or monitors, or servers, or nodes. I can, like we had in GLPI 10 form creator, or drop downs. I can also use drop downs here. And not just that, I will not. Let me come back to short answer and number. Okay, good. I can save and preview it like it would be in a real case scenario. It's not, we don't have these all the necessity of new tabs and save it and see what we are going to see. Everything you see here when you are creating a form, any form here, is almost the same thing you're going to see on the preview. I came back. Let's go again. Oh, I have here the service catalog again, where I can choose the illustration that I was telling you before. It's from our open source repository. You can upload your own illustration if you want. This is the illustration that we are going to see in your service catalog. Uh, Here you have the access control where you can let unauthenticated users use it, or if you want to see, if you want just one user to have access to this form, or if you want a group to have access to this form. So every time you choose someone, you're going to see the user criteria here and see which users have access to this. If you let unauthenticated, you will also have all the CAPTCHAs capabilities to make sure that no bots are answering to forms. On destinations, you can create several tickets, several problems, and several changes to different departments if you want, using the same ticket. If you want a different one, let's say I want a new ticket for the HR department, I can, and I can change all the configuration here that, let's say I don't want this section to be sent to the human resources. So I just delete this part, or I want just one part of it. So I type the character to choose which answer or question I want. So here I want just the answer details. So just the answer details are going to be inserted that. Here again, I can add the follow-up templates that I've created previously, the task templates that I've created previously on the drop-downs, and also the approval templates that I've created previously with steps or not. On the right side, as I was mentioning before but was not showing, I have all the properties of a ticket. And as you can see here, it's almost the same thing that we see on a ticket. The properties on your right and the timeline on the center of your screen. But not just that, you don't need to have, let's imagine you have a company that works in English, in French, in Portuguese, in Spanish, and you want to have the same form in different translations. So you can just click here on form translations and create translation for every question that you have, let's say in Spanish, Español, Argentina, add, and then I will have the ability to translate every question for this ticket. This is a very good phrase from Linus Torvalds. Given enough eyeballs, all bugs are shallow. So you can help GLPI 11 be the best GLPI version ever. So you can test the latest release candidate. We are currently at the release candidate 3. Sorry. So given enough eyeballs, all bugs are shallow. You can test the release candidate. So you can see here on GitHub, all the releases are there. You can just download it and install it like a GLPI instance, but for sure as prototyping. Don't use it in production because you might find some bugs. But it's very important that you test it with real data so we can make sure that your processes are working well. So if you read this QR code, you're just going to be forwarded to the GitHub page. You can download it and use our, for example, our GLPI install process, which is in our help center if you want. Let me know if you want the link for the help center, but it's help.glpi/center, glpi/project.org. And also you can test it using a Docker container, Docker stack. On the hub, Docker Hub, you can find, again, the GLPI official images. You can just change the tags and you are going to have access to GLPI 11 release candidate or the nightly version, which is every day is updated. But you can create it and test GLPI on Docker. Not just that, you can report, and we encourage you to report issues and give feedback on GitHub for issues and on forum for feedback. Both of them are okay. We have people looking in both platforms. And for sure, contribute to translations. GLPI translations are on Transifex, which is also a tool to manage translations. You can create your account there and participate on the translation. If your language is not okay with in GLPI 11, you are more than encouraged to give your feedback, to give your vision to translations to your environment.